Hello, Maria.
Good morning.
Morning.
I think we are all now.
It's me who should start, or it's Filipe who is going to start?
You can start.
Oh, really? Wow. Hello, everyone. This group is much bigger than the previous one. So now, wow, so many of you. Can I just only ask you very shortly to say your name loudly, because I then feel much more connected with people when they say their names.
Palma. Ula. Cillo.
Imola.
Rasmus.
You are in a big light. We cannot see you very well.
That's true, because yeah, I come from the forest, and now maybe it's super rainy, but still there's a lot of light. But I will do my best to. Okay, let me switch position. Just give me one second.
Okay, that helps. Much better.
Much better? I wanted you to see the Greenland behind me, but if you prefer less light, that's okay. Okay, so hello everyone.
Patricia.
Oh, thank you. Last person.
Susanna.
Okay, Susanna. Someone else? No, we have everyone. Okay, so hello from the forest in Poland, in Western Poland. I'm Maria Lebioda, called also as Maruszka. And very shortly, just to give you a little overview who I am, from the last 12 years, I'm a trainer of non-formal education. And the topics that I'm working on are for nature-based education, outdoor education, and diversity education. And I also have my little company that is called Pine Education in the Nature. And I'm trying to bring people to the nature more often, to show them how many benefits they can have from spending more time in the nature, and how it's great to meet other people in these beautiful green surroundings, and how to deepen their connections with themselves, nature, and other people when being in the forest and also in the nature. So, my dear beautiful people, I want to ask you to, for the next 30 seconds, think very quickly about 3 things that comes into your mind, into your heart, into your soul, into your body, when you think about you being in the nature. 3 things, and please write them down for yourself. Okay. I'm not gonna check it. I believe that you have a lot of nice things that you written down, but I will try to guess that most of the things are connected with some positive things, positive emotions and feelings. And this is something also what I observe from the people that I work with, from little ones to seniors. And of course, sometimes it happens that people mention that there are some emotions that are a little bit difficult or negative because something happened in the past with them in the forest, for example, or very often also it happens with the kids that they are somehow afraid of being in the nature because not of their own experience in being with the nature, but because adults put in their heads information that somehow nature can be dangerous for them because of different reasons. You know, forest is full of wolves, ticks, other dangerous things. And of course I'm kidding, but very often kids has this vision of wild nature, and sometimes they are also a little bit afraid of it. But most often things that are connected with being in the nature are positive and really gives people a lot of calmness, peace, a lot of things that are also lowering the stress and give them a lot of good connections. And when we think about why we are so much attracted to nature and why we have these good connections with it, it's very much connected with our biology and the instinct that we have inside ourselves. And there is a hypothesis of biophilia. Have you ever heard about it? Yeah, biophilia, it's the concept that says that we are attracted to the nature, we love the nature because from the evolution point of view, we spent our whole lives in the last 100,000 years in the nature. So nature was the surrounding, the place where we learned to be, and also gave us chance to survive. So the nature was our way to survive because it gave us sources, it gave us safe spot to stay, and we were just instinctually prepared for living in the nature and to love it because it was something that was very important for us. And now what is happening, it's the fact that the last 200 years gave us a very bad cut. We started to go far from the nature, and one of the concepts says that it's one of the reasons why we started to suffer. So for example, all the psychological things that are happening to us, the problems that we have, are very much connected with the lack of contact with the nature. And when you think about healthy person, what media says us, what people who are experts in the field of health say us, it's very often think that healthy person is someone who has a healthy diet, is sleeping enough, and also has a regular physical exercising regularly. But there's one thing missing, which is the contact with the nature, because there's something that really gives us the whole context of being healthy and having a lot of benefits from it. And when we look at benefits that we can have from spending time in the nature, there is a lot of things that are very much connected with our physical being, but also with our psychological being. So from the physical point of view, you can observe that after 2 hours of being in the nature, your blood pressure is getting lower, your sugar blood level is going lower, your level of stress is going lower, all the hormones that are connected with stress like cortisol, adrenaline are going lower, and the good hormones like endorphins that are connected with feeling happy are going up. So the list of the benefits is really, really long. And you can also see how much it's connected with getting resilient, because getting resilient is not only connected with being mentally strong, but it's also very much connected with what's happening with our wholeness. So with our body, with our heart, with our soul, and with our mind. And when I'm thinking about spending time in the nature and how it can help us with getting more resilient, I think about all the metaphors that you can observe in the nature. So something that I really like to say and to start the conversation with the other people, it's the metaphor of the tree. Try to imagine a big tree that is standing in front of you. And for example, we have a winter. What's happening? There's a lot of snow coming from the sky, and every single day there's more snow on the branches, and it's collecting. And as you can imagine, the branches are getting heavier. And there are two options that nature can do in this case. The first is that the branch can get broken, but what usually happens is that the branch is just gently bending. So it's taking out the whole snow, and in this easy way, it's solving its own problem. And for me, it's like a very good metaphor of how we can also learn from the nature to be more resilient. Sometimes you are getting a lot of stress, a lot of problems on yourself, but maybe the easier way is just to try to accept the situation how it is and bend a little bit and help yourself with just things that are coming to you and getting okay with them, with accepting them how they are. And the same with the same tree. There are rain coming, there's sun coming, so a different situation in our life that we have to face. And like the sun can be a nice positive thing, experience that we can face, and the rain can be something that we don't like, but it's happening. And still this tree is standing and having, like taking all the best things from both, because the rain is the same needed as the sun. And even with sometimes we think that difficulties it's something that is destroying ourselves, we can learn from nature how the difficulties can make us stronger and make us more resistant to different situations that we have to face in our life. And for me, being in the nature, because not always you have to have like organized activities in the nature, just being in the nature with full awareness, with full understanding of the whole process helps us to find our spots. Like what I observe in different groups of people, that a lot of people are completely disoriented. They can't find their place in the world because there's so many rush around. There are so many different signals from the external world that they don't fit to. So in the forest, you can really find a lot of answers for your questions and find your little spot in which you can feel that you are a little part of bigger picture. So what I strongly recommend always is to find your good place in the nature and observe it carefully to see how it changes, how it goes with its own rhythm, how things are happening because they have to happen. This is how the whole world works. And when you think about this in this calm and accepting way, it's really, really easier to understand also how it can work with yourself, how you can take all these benefits for yourself when observing what's happening around you. And yeah, I don't want to talk too much because I think that you can have some nice questions. But I would say that being in the nature, being present and with full awareness in the nature is something that from the very beginning, from biological point of view, helps us a lot. And after all, we can also see how it's influencing our thinking about different things that's happening to us, and also how it helps us understanding a lot of things that comes to us during the whole life, let's say. So now I think it's the time for you to ask some questions if you have any, and I will open the chat. So if you want to ask me any question, feel free. I'll be very happy to share my experience, knowledge, ideas for some things. Maybe you already have some reflections about what I said.
Since
We have more. Okay, we have more 6 to 7 minutes.
Since we are a small group, maybe we can talk. If you have the question, you can just unlock your microphone. I have one, but if somebody else has.
May I ask? Can you, Maria? Then yeah, very nice, very interesting. I just think if people are not, I guess a lot of people are not very trained to be out in the nature.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do to make it easier to people to make the first connection, to overcome the distance? And so could you just give an example or say what you experience with people like, yeah, I guess me too. I'm not so trained to be in the nature. How do you help people to get into this connection we already have?
Mm-hmm.
The first step.
So I think that very often people are afraid of this very pure wild nature because they have the feeling that it's something that they don't belong to. And it's true. We are city people. We are city creatures because this is how the world works right now. But I think we can start from exploring little wild places that we can have in our cities. Maybe it sounds strange, but sometimes observing the little spots of wild nature that is trying to survive in our cities, it's something that can be the very first step. And so try to search for these places in the city that are a little bit wild, but still in the middle of the big concrete world. And then you can start from this, what is very close to them. And then maybe the next step will be to go a little bit further and try to take them to the forest and show them how this green world works. But from my experience, when you go in bigger group, it's not a big deal for people because they still feel safe. They have nice connections with the others. So if they have someone to talk to, if there is a guide like you who can be the person who can help them just in case to survive if something will happen. Of course, it's not going to happen, but if they have this, vision in their mind, there is always someone who can be there and guide them just in case. But I will not go straight to very like deep connections, like go solo night in the forest, because it can it can be very threatening for them. But making small steps from starting from close nature that they have next to them in the cities, then going deeper to the forest, but also with always with the guidance, because they can feel more comfortable with someone who really knows the place they are going to. And then the very, very last level can be just trying to go super deep and explore the nature by yourself with this solo experience that is also the great thing to have at the very, very end of our experiencing the wild nature.
Thanks.
I have a question. So, in the resilience, they say concept of resilience is that you come out of a difficult situation with some personal growth. How can we, by just being in the nature, come out with this personal growth, or how can that support us in that? How can nature play a role supporting us let's say I'm having a difficult situation, has nothing to do with the nature, is my context. I go there and somehow I feel it helps me somehow to lead to this personal growth.
What I'm doing is to propose people simple things that they can do by themselves, because very often when we are sometimes we don't believe in ourselves, because when we lose all this, you know, important points that we can stick to, that we can that the points of reference. I think that finding some exercises in the nature that can show you how talented you are, what are your strengths, can help you somehow. So like in outdoor education, when you have a teamwork, you are doing different stuff together, exploring nature with different activities, you can observe what kind of potential you have in yourself. So for example, searching for your maybe like leadership competences, or some maybe you are perfect person to communicate different things, or you are super skilled in making something with your hands. So there's a lot of levels that you can discover when doing things together in the nature. But also from like the simple practice that you can have in the forest, I think that just simply being in the nature by your own, on your own, helps you to see the bigger picture. So, and I think that very often when we are living in the city, we are in rush. We can't figure out what's happening around us, how our body and mind works. So going in the nature can help us with slowing down, analyze things, reflect on them. And I think it's also a good moment to meditate a little bit, to try to find your own time to reflect on yourself and see what you can really discover about yourself. I think it's something that we really miss in our daily life, that we don't focus on ourselves. And maybe this time in the nature, the slowing down time will help us with having this nice reflections about ourselves. Yeah. If I can, because I show it to the last group, maybe it's a good moment to show it also to you. I don't know if you know this book, Vitamin N. Vitamin N from Richard Louv. So it's a very nice guidebook for how you can spend time in the nature in valuable way, from the very simple exercises that you can have to more advanced ones. And yeah, you can really think about what is your issue, what is quite problematic for you, and then you can search for some task, exercise, activity that at some point can help you with finding nice solution. But you know, always solutions are here. So nature can be our therapist, our guide, but all the answers that we need for our life, for ourselves, are here inside ourselves. So hopefully being in nature will help us in finding those answers.
Marusha, can you please write the name of the author?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
We have 2 minutes.
So I wrote Vitamin N from Richard Louv, but also the very famous book. And I think that people who are more in the nature topic can know this name. It's like, let me find the English word, Last Child in the Woods. The same author. And also there's a nice research about how, so that's a huge collection of research in the whole world that Richard Louv made like 15 years ago, showing how lack of the nature, contact with the nature can destroy us, mostly kids, because kids are the main target group that he is talking about here in this book. So last child in the woods. Sorry, last.
Thank you, Maria. I can see, I imagine, the vitality that nature has offered you in the way that you are. So, yeah, wonderful to experience your energy and feel the energy of nature coming through. Thank you.
Thank you.
Maybe we end now. We have 1 minute.
So we come back again for our next expert in the same link, everyone. And thank you, Maruska.
Thank you very much, guys. Have a beautiful meeting with the next expert, and I wish you all the greenest things in your life. Ciao.